I'd like to talk to you about what could happen if you lose your injury case. Does it happen? Occasionally. Here's what can happen. Technically, under the statute, you could owe the other side attorney's fees and costs. You wouldn't owe your attorney any attorney's fees and costs because it's on a contingency fee, meaning that if they don't win, you don't have to pay them anything. It's only on a win basis. But you might have to pay the other side's attorney's fees and costs, especially if there's an offer of judgment out there. An offer of judgment means basically they said to you, we will give you so much money to have this case go away, and you decide not to, and they get a bigger judgment at trial. If they do, they can get attorney's fees and costs on your case. It's not very typical, but it does happen. Sometimes juries don't particularly like certain people and they don't believe certain people, and so it does happen. In the event it did happen, here's some things that I would recommend your attorney, or if we're your attorney, this is what we would do. We would make sure that, number one, the case is negotiated at that point. I remember early on at a trial, the jury didn't believe my client, and we got a defense verdict. So basically we had that be a wash, because if we don't appeal it, will you wipe out the attorney's fees and costs? And they did. So that's really one of two occasions where we actually lost a case where the juries didn't believe the client, but it does happen. So far, none of our clients have had to pay. It needs to be cautioned. We'll advise our clients after this offer of judgment that we received. If we say no to it, we may owe their attorney's fees and costs, and you can weigh the chances of whether we'll win, whether we won't, and we can talk about that with you. It is a possibility. You need to be aware of it, because your contracts will say that. Yeah, you won't owe attorney's fees and costs to the attorneys that represent you, but you could owe the other side's attorney's fees and costs. So therefore, those are the things that you really want to be careful of, is not to have any frivolous lawsuits. And that's why attorneys don't bring frivolous lawsuits, because if they do, they're at risk of making their clients responsible for paying. Nothing would be worse than having to pay when you're the one injured and losing a case and being basically injured twice, especially financially. There's ways to negotiate those things. There's ways to make sure that doesn't happen. And so just make sure you get very competent legal representation to make sure that that's taken care of.